Luxembourg, the United States, USA, the United States of America, Japan, and Spain have joined up in this team. Radoslav, my pleasure. Some talking to do. I think it's 4 versus 3. One of the Spanish fighters has switched sides. No, they're exchanging her for the Japanese fighter now. So Japan and 2 Polish fighters, if I'm not mistaken, against 2 Spanish fighters, the United States fighter and the Luxembourg fighter. Nicolas Matthias, that sounds like a good idea for a meme. Can someone do that, please? So here we have the 4 women team. Quick change of weapon. 3 versus 4. Bartosz, thank you very much for that. My Polish is horrible except for the very few words that I can somewhat pronounce correctly, but thank you anyway. I see the Luxembourg fighter already on the ground, so it's 3 versus 3 now. The US fighter clinching up with the Polish fighter. Japanese fighter coming to her rescue. The other Polish fighter on the ground now, so it's 3 versus 2. I think chopping down the Japanese fighter. There we have the stoppage. 3 versus 1, so that is a victory for the 4 women team created by Luxembourg, the United States, and Spain in conjunction. Now a few words by the referee to all the fighters. So Bartosz, I read that as Wysoczanski, is that correct? Gustowicz, yes, these are women again. This is the women's all versus all, so teams conjoined by fighters who have not had their fair share of melee and damage.
Drodzy Państwo, z tego co widzimy, to będzie chyba każda przeciwko każdej. Tak zwany krąg zdrady. Drodzy Państwo, gra rycerska, igrzyska śmierci, jak to powiedział przed chwilą pan jeden z...
You see the team of Quebec making their way to the list for the 5 vs 5, I think.
Każda jest...
Nawet jeśli będą tworzone czasowe alianse, to i tak do ostatecznego starcia...
Sir, I think that's a very fair question, particularly in melee. Size does matter after all. But If you have seen the Japanese fighting in the last couple of days, they do not fear to engage, even if their fighters are like 3 or 4 heads taller than their own. And we're already back in the action. Sorry if I missed out on that. I'm not entirely sure as to who's fighting with whom now. I can see the American fighter dealing some great damage. I can see Poland and Japan battling it out. So this looks a lot like free-for-all to me. Here's the Polish fighter in between Japan and the United States now. Another Polish fighter now engaging with the American fighter. And a takedown from the Japanese fighter. Nicely done there. Trying to get her weapon out under her opponent. And she's apparently still in the fight. Now she's chopping on the back of the head of the American fighter. In this free-for-all match. Poland, Japan, and the United States still in the game, if I'm seeing correctly. And I think the refs are now taking down the American fighter. I think she's already been on the ground. Now, of course, the advantage for the Polish fighter with sword and shield, cutting and shield, over the Japanese fighter. And she's down on the ground. That means a win for the Polish fighter. And a very nice fight these ladies have put on for us in this free-for-all. Last woman standing. Very nice fight from the Japanese fighter as well. She's taken a hard shot with a shield there. That shot her off balance. And it looks to me as though we are done with the women's all versus all. Yes, it seems to be the case. Or is it not? No, I can still see some of the women fighters on the list. I think the refs are sending them off now, and I think we are about to start with the 5 versus 5. Okay, thanks Carl Barker for clearing that up. Apparently the US fighter has been put down for thrusting with the weapon. I'm afraid I haven't seen that myself. But thanks for keeping me informed. And we still have a women's fight going, as I can see. You can see Luxembourg and one of the Polish fighters standing on the left-hand side of the list. I can't see who their opponent is. Teppo, I'm afraid I have to disagree with you on that. I personally am much more of a fan of the 1 versus 1 category, just because I like to watch highly technical fights. And I fit in both sorts of fights, and I really think that 1 versus 1 is technically much more challenging. But here we go with another round of all versus all, free for all, I think. I see a Polish representative, I see a fighter from Luxembourg, and one from Spain. So apparently this is a 3 women, last woman standing fight. And here we go, the Luxembourg fighter going for a quick charge. And then the Spanish fighter comes trying to go for a takedown, but she doesn't get it. Now here comes the side charge from the Polish fighter. Hard shot against the Spanish. I think free-for-all is one of the most fun competitions to watch. Everyone against everyone, and you can never tell who's going to make a move and what that move is going to be. Makoto, I totally agree that melee is very exciting to be in, but I'm a fan of technique, and if both fighters are really skilled swordsmen or swordswomen, then that's the absolute crown of the sport to me, personally. But that's, of course, just a personal opinion. Just to top it off with my personal opinion, I'm a real great fan of pro fighting. Just to say that. And that was an easy win for Poland. That was a gift to the Polish fighter. Two in one strike, what a takedown. Not many can claim that. And I heard the call for the 5 versus 5 teams, so I hope Sorik is up here quite soon. Here we see the replay of the highlights of this fight. Really entertaining to watch.